Welcome to the Baha'i Chair for World Peace Second Interactive Dialogue on Human Security in an Insecure World. My name is John Townshend. I'm the Dean of the College of Behavioural and Social Sciences, and on behalf of the University of Maryland and the College of Behavioural and Social Sciences, I offer you an extremely warm welcome to these proceedings. My predecessor, Dean Ed Montgomery, was a great friend of the Baha'i Chair for World Peace. In particular, he appreciated, as I do, how the Chair can provide a venue for reflection on and consideration of the broader implications and greater purposes of what we do at the College and at the University. As I began to familiarise myself with the work of the Baha'i Chair, I was struck by the Chair's focus on addressing the issues of peace and justice and his record of asking if our prevailing concepts are adequate to meet our needs and ambitions. In this vein, tonight's dialogue can be anticipated as a forum for helping us to take a broader and deeper look at what the security needs of humanity really are in the 21st century. When I think about the role that the Baha'i Chair can continue to play in a college that is adapting to meet current and emerging challenges, I naturally draw on my own experiences as a researcher and university professor. In recent decades, the discipline of geography has made tremendous and increasing use of remote sensing, that is, the collection of data in the absence of actual physical contact with the Earth's surface. And using remote sensing, we can gaze down on the Earth and analyse it from a scientific viewpoint as a single system. The more we look down and see our world as a single system scientifically, the more we begin to see and believe the world is a single system composed of diverse political, economic and spiritual facets. In other words, that it constitutes a global society. This morning I was at an event at the Smithsonian, an event concerned with global observations and how they can be better put together to give us a more complete understanding of the Earth's environment. A dear friend of mine gave the keynote address, Roy Gibson, former Director General of the European Space Agency. He identified the key need if we're going to achieve this integrated view of the world. And what he said is people and organisations must forget their own egos. They must learn to work together for the good of humanity as a whole. And I thought it was very interesting that a very technical discussion like that, actually that was the theme which then ran through the whole of the morning's discussion. So it's from these sorts of perspectives that the Baha'i Chair for World Peace, which is not defined by any specific discipline, is well positioned to explore. The Chair can also encourage others here at the University of Maryland, and does do, and among the wider public to join in this effort. I believe that the distinguished members of the panel that the Baha'i Chair has assembled tonight represent precisely the kind of people who are singularly equipped intellectually and experientially to help us all better recognise and reflect on the most salient problems of the emerging global society. Even more importantly, as big thinkers with their feet firmly planted on the ground of real-world experience, they can stimulate us to engage in a common search for solutions that are both innovative and realisable. Dialogues such as this, especially one called an interactive dialogue, are ideal venues to bring together different forms of information that typically do not interface and link with each other in a meaningful fashion. I would like to make a final observation, again one drawn from my own experiences. Sometimes in the academic world we concentrate too much on phenomena of immediate concern, and as a result lose sight of what may be happening in terms of more fundamental long-term processes. But in this age of interdependency, we must identify and understand key fundamental processes from the most local to the most global. In this spirit, I urge you all to participate in this interactive dialogue, not only as attentive listeners, but also as active creators of insightful questions. The Baha'i Chair for World Peace has made this dialogue possible, and as many of you know, the Baha'i community of the United States has continuously and generally sustained the Chair since its inception in 1993. Just before we came up the stairs from our dinner, I was most grateful to receive from the Baha'i community the generous cheque of a further $100,000 to support the work of the Baha'i Chair. I thank them deeply for this generosity. We are grateful and honoured to have with us tonight a distinguished representative of the Baha'i community, Mr. Ken Bowers, Secretary General of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'i of the United States. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bowers to address us.
Thank you, Dean Townshend, and good evening, everyone. I'd like to express in turn the great and profound appreciation of the Baha'i community of the United States for the leadership and support that this university has given over the years since the Baha'i Chair was established. And as a point of history, many of you might be interested to know that the movement to establish the Baha'i Chair originated with one of the faculty of the University of Maryland, the late Dr. Ed Azar. He did this partly in response to a document written by the world governing body of the Baha'i faith, the Universal House of Justice. That open letter to the peoples of the world, which was called The Promise of World Peace, expressed the profound sentiment of the Baha'i community of the need for an unprecedented level of global collaboration and dedication among individuals and institutions in the world to address the myriad of pressing issues that face humanity. The Promise of World Peace addressed many of these challenges specifically, such as the need for elimination of prejudices, proper custodianship of the environment, the equitable sharing of global resources, the advancement of women, universal access to education, and other matters pertaining to the establishment of a peaceful and just social order. More fundamental, however, was an appeal to people of goodwill everywhere to engage in serious consultation on these matters and to find practical solutions based upon universal spiritual principles. While clear-eyed and realistic in its assessment of the problems of the world, the overarching sentiment was one of hope for humanity's future, a hope shared not only by all Baha'is, but also by countless other individuals and institutions who are devoted to this high calling. There is no doubt that the University of Maryland is among these institutions. The Baha'i Chair for World Peace was welcomed by the leadership of this university, and thus was born a partnership that has been greeted by the members of the Baha'i faith the world over with great enthusiasm. The Baha'is have considered it a privilege to contribute materially to the Chair's establishment and to substantially renew its commitment when the current holder of the Chair assumed his duties several years ago. Among the reasons for this is our belief that the University of Maryland is situated at the meeting point of a host of circumstances that should permit it to play a leading role in that surge of effort that is so necessary for world peace. These circumstances include, first and foremost, the university's status as one of the outstanding research institutions of the United States, and indeed of the world. Its aggressive pursuit of a bold new strategic plan, which it adopted in 2008, to build its capacity for leadership in all areas of human endeavor, and the principles that plan enshrines, all firmly establish the university as a world-class leader. Among the principles, which I'll state briefly, are first, building an inclusive community. Second, embracing the power of technology. Third, acting with entrepreneurial spirit. And fourth, partnering with others, locally and globally, to become the most networked university in the world. Finally, taking responsibility for the future, with dedication to enhancing the quality of life of all people, sustaining the natural environment, and reinforcing the capacity of Maryland citizens to thrive and prosper in a diverse, ever-changing, globally competitive environment. The theme tonight, of course, is human security in an insecure world. Together, our panelists tonight will explore the definition of security, why it is needed, and what we can do to achieve it. John Grazel, holder of the Baha'i Chair for World Peace and the moderator of tonight's discussion, will tell us a little bit more about the agenda. And so I have the honor now to welcome you to the Chair's second annual dialogue and to proclaim the dialogue now open. And I turn it over to you, Dr. Grazel. Thank you.